afternoon, everyone. And we finally reached our last talk for Department of Tourism's Dive Philippines webinar. Just to recap, we had 4 amazing days. First, touring around the Philippines, getting to know the different treasures and locations around the whole Philippines, and it got everyone excited. But we didn't stop there. We also touched on amazing topics like blackwater, tech diving, conservation, of course, different types of conservation, dive education, and now, last but not least, we are going to be talking about underwater photography. And with me, we have such amazing speakers and a very fun moderator as well. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our moderator today. We have somebody who is an underwater photographer and cinematographer. He is a PCSSD commissioner and a PADI ambassador. May I welcome Bo Mancao. Hello, Bo.
What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in and welcome to this event. I'm super excited to be here right now because we're all in for a treat. I've got 3 great friends that are ready to show their stuff. If you guys are into underwater photography, this is the right place to be. We are going to have Lynn Funkhouser, Jerome Kim, and Gutsy Scott Gutsy Tuason showing their latest and their greatest. Right after that, there's going to be a Q&A, and Vanessa will wrap everything up. Okay, so let's move on to our first speaker. She hails from the US of A, but she has been doing so much for promotions of diving in the Philippines. She's been coming here since the 70s, and that makes her a true pioneer in my book. She has also helped out in the Shed Aquarium. She has basically, with her knowledge, she's put the different things from Apo Island into the Shed Aquarium in Chicago. She is a true organizer. I've seen her in Tubataha the last time I saw her was in Tubataha, and she had with her a team from National Geographic. Guys, please welcome Miss Lynn Funkhouser.
Thank you, Bo. It's wonderful to be here. You want me to start my show right now?
Please go ahead.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that with all her accolades and everything, Lynn's not done yet. She still keeps coming back to the Philippines every year.
Oops. Share screen. Now it worked during.
We have your screen up, Lynn. Just hit the play button.
Oh, wait a second. All right.
Take it away.
Great. Okay. Thank you. And thank you in the US for staying up this late. MGM has their lion, so I have my lionfish. The Philippines is truly the most biodiverse underwater and above. The man in the green shirt is Dr. Terry Goslinger. He's been in the Philippines since 1992 and has discovered over 1,000 species of nudibranchs. Man on the left is Dr. Lawrence Haney from the Field Museum in Chicago. He's been in the Philippines since 1975 and has discovered there are more mammals on Luzon Island than anywhere else on the planet. So that makes the Philippines the most diverse underwater or above as well as underwater. Next to him is Dr. Kent Carpenter, and he studied the shorefish, and you have more shorefish than anywhere else in the world. And to my right is Robert Suntai, an amazing free diver, amazing cinematographer, and another great friend. I shoot for color. If I see something that's colorful, then I'm on it. I also like to see something that's flowing and has a nice feel to it. That's a tube anemone. And I love critters, and I like to show their personalities. I mean, who wouldn't love this eel after seeing that smile? And this eel has said, you are not social distancing, go away. I like behaviors. This is a mollusk laying eggs, an imperial volute mollusk laying eggs. So if you see this particular thing on the reef, you'll know it's imperial volute eggs. I love all of the nudibranchs in the Philippines, and that's what originally got me there. First time I got to Anilao in 1975, I declared that it was littered in nudibranchs, and that's what started my love affair with the Philippines. Now I've become addicted to blackwater, but I'm not competing with these guys. So I'm going to take you to Dumaguete, and you leave Manila, and it's about an hour and 10-minute flight on an Airbus, and you arrive in Dumaguete. And along the beach is mostly what's called Dawan. My favorite resort is Azure for a lot of reasons, and I'll show them to you later. This is the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and we have done a $49 million, 8 years in the planning, 1,500 new square feet, entitled Wild Reef. And Wild Reef is strictly on Apo Island in the Philippines because it is the mammal sanctuary to the world. So I get to work on this as a consultant for 8 years. I got to spend a lot of time here and fall in love with it. This is the iconic rock work that you see when you pull up to Apo. And I want to introduce you to one more fabulous person. This is Dr. Angel Alcala. He is a herpetologist and professor emeritus at Silliman University. I think he's about 88 or 89 years old at this point. And in his free time, he managed to set aside 400 marine protected areas, save the turtles, save the giant clams, and save an endemic species of crocodile. Amazing man. So here we are at Apo Island. The crew has paid our sanctuary fee, and we're falling in the water to about 100-foot visibility. I would stack these coral reefs up with Tubataha. The coral is spectacular, and we owe this all to Dr. Alcala. He got the people to set aside just 1/10 of their island and protect it. And the next year, their fish were so much more bountiful that they are now protecting most of the islands. There's one area where they can fish. The number of divers are limited, and it's very, very pristine. And you just go down the reef, catch a little light current, and shoot coral heads of every kind. My favorite species of fish is the Navarcus or majestic angelfish. So whenever I see one, I have to shoot that. Huge anemones everywhere. And you can't do a show without Nemo. I always tell the guides, if you see a screaming red anemone, let me know, because I love these guys. The other thing we have in Dumaguete and Apo are spine cheek or maroon anemone fish. And the female is much darker than the male. Should she die, then the dominant male becomes female. And you might catch a porcelain crab in the anemones. My favorite color is purple. So whenever I see purple queens or purple pseudoanthias, I have to shoot those too. Here we have two males squaring off. There's a school of jacks at Mamsa. But the stars of Apo are all the turtles, and they're just lying around everywhere. And they are so used to divers, they just kind of look at you to see, well, what are they wearing today? The cool thing about it is they have got this behavior where they go under the coral and scratch their shells. So they have the cleanest shells in the world. And this one had just gone up to get a breath of air, and I motioned to Leandro Blanco just to stay there. I knew she'd come back and get under that coral head again. But she decided to check out his 85-pound camera we call the Beast. Now that's an interaction, not a harassment. They have yellow remoras in this area, and I don't see those anywhere else. If anyone has any idea if this is a new species or a color variation, I would sure like to hear about it. So now we're going to leave Apo and we're going to go over to the other side to Darwin. And this is all sand, pretty much clean sand, and they call it muck, but this isn't mucky muck. This is clean. And they've dropped in, like this is car wreck, and there are boats they've dropped in. Wherever you see a little patch reef, it'll be loaded with fish. And all that sand, of course, there's all these nudibranchs. And I happen to absolutely love nudibranchs. One dive, we came across this one at the end of it laying eggs. So I said to my dive master, I said, at the end of the second, let's stay here. At the end of the second dive, I want to go back and see how many more eggs this animal has laid. And so we took an hour surface interval and about a 2-hour dive. And at the end, we went back and she had laid that many more eggs. Just ask your dive guide and they deliver. I wanted a mantis shrimp with eggs. You know, they'll either deliver it or they'll say it's not in season or whatever, but you've got a pretty good chance of getting what you want. One year, there were all these emperor snappers in fire urchins, but I haven't seen those lately. A maroon dotty back. I love ambon scorpionfish, and usually they're kind of a beigey color, but if you ask your guide, he might know where a red one is. Now, this was just luck. I mean, who knew that undulatus triggers have a blue tongue, or at least that was a nice surprise. We'll take all the surprises we can get. And sometimes that's not so lucky for the jack, but lucky for the photographer.
How did you get the fish to, how did you feed the jack to the fish?
Oh, we didn't. At 10 o'clock in the morning, it came. I mean, this is a crocodile snake eel. It came roaring out of the sand, nailed the jack, went back in, took it 20 minutes to eat it. But that was a good dive for me and not so good for the jack. The other stars of the show are these frogfish. And there are times when you just tell the guide, I've got enough frogfish, no more frogfish, no more ghost pipefish, no more of this. And yet you shoot them anyway. This is a juvenile giant frogfish. And you can see they get pretty good size. And then you go the other end of the spectrum, your guides can find them that are about the size of a grain of rice. But look at the toenails on this little guy.
I like how you got all the detail on that one.
Thank you. And here we have one using my nightlight to chum for fish, and the male is to the right between these sponges.
Oh, this male, small one.
Here we have a juvenile wart skin frogfish, and you might wonder why they're called that. Well, when they get older, they can look like this, and they can be a different color. Here's one of my great reasons for loving Azure. He gets to dive the pier when the boats aren't in. And there's nothing I love more than this pier for color and critters and so forth.
The Komi Pier.
Yes.
You got to be a VIP to dive there.
He's Filipino.
Or a legend.
Or a legend.
He has friends.
Lynn knows people.
It's Glenn Carballo. He knows people. So we're going to leave.
Very close to the mayor.
That helps. I can tell you stories about the mayor and why we're not allowed to dive too. So now I'm going to take you to Tikau. Now, if you want to get away from it all, this is the place to go. It's one dive resort. And you're going to, well, you can drive it for about 12 hours, or you can take a plane. And I mean, this is the most scenic airport in the world with the Mayan volcano in the background. And I highly suggest that you book a couple of nights at Casa Simeon and just drive around the city. But we're jumping on a van. We're going to go down to Don Sol. And this is where you can whale shark. You can free dive with whale sharks, and they're keeping track of them. So they had a total of 1,653 in 2019. But we're going out to Ticao. And it's stunning. This is, for me, like the Philippines when I first got there in 1975.
Beach bungalows.
Yes.
Carabao bringing your tanks down the beach.
Well, this is the beach cleanup every morning. And there's your only form of transportation is get behind this guy on a motorbike or ride the horses. They're so far removed that they bake their own bread. I wish I had smell-o-vision, and I'd love to have that right now. And they make their own ice cream. I could go for some of that right now too. But the cool thing is they have given a cabana to LMAVE, the Large Marine Vertebrate Research Institute of the Philippines. And they are studying the manta rays and the whale sharks. So if you have pictures of the undersides of manta rays or the left side of whale sharks and send it to them, it will add to the research. Here are some of the volunteers. You can also volunteer to go out here for a couple of months if you have the time. And the big draw is the manta bowl. So you go out here every day and see mantas. I took that shot in 2018 and worried about this manta ray because of its broken cephalic fin. But in 2019, I showed them the photo and they still have it as still living. So anyway, you could add to science with all this. You also swim with the whale sharks out here. This one hung around at the surface for an hour and you could even snorkel with it. This is Circus, which is a manta cleaning station. So you will find a GoPro camera down there of LMAVE's. And every day or two, they pick up the cameras, take them back to the boat, change the SD cards, change the batteries, put them back together, take them back down and drop them off in 3 different areas, collecting all the research on this. Very cool project. You can volunteer to do this. So this is our chase boat picking us up. Most people don't dive the walls and things in Ticao, but I found Bobby's wall to be fabulous. It's just full of soft corals. And at the bottom of it, and all the crushed things that are down there, all the little critters. Lots and lots of crinoids, feather duster clusters. The nudibranchs are endless out here. And of course, there's a healthy bunch of fish and beautiful scenery. And night dives, if you like bobtail squid, they have an enormous number of them here. Now I know that my dive is over and we're gonna leave Legazpi. I would like to leave you with just a little bit of a message. We've got to conquer this plastic problem. And I know it's one thing to clean it up and we're all working hard at that, but somehow we've got to educate people to stop throwing their trash in our waterways. And I'm going to ask you to not do one thing, and that's do not release balloons. I mean, these are killing turtles and sharks and dolphins and whale sharks and even land animals and birds. Instead, plant a tree, have a bubble party, have a laser light show, do anything but release balloons. And one of the things we're doing in the US is when football teams like Clemson want to release them, we start a big email thing and beg them not to do it. So we've shut a few down and we had a few more to go. And now, of course, one of the biggest problems is masks. Please dispose of those and cut the strings on those masks and the gloves. Throw them away in the right places. Please, please, please. Plastic bottles take 450 years to decompose. A diaper, 450 years. Fishing line, 600 years. Please, people, get the word out, make them stop. So now I'm going to show you one more thing I like to do with my photography, and that's just take one critter and collect pictures of it and tell a story. This was my first Spanish dancer in Tubataha in 1978. And so since then, I've collected Spanish dancers. And this one's just settling down to the seafloor. And here are the shrimp that are symbiotic with it. Took me about 20 years to find them mating. And about 10 days later, I found both of them laying eggs. I was ecstatic. And I still can't help but shoot Spanish dancer eggs.
Roses.
Yes.
Is your Spanish dancer sleeping right now, or is he awake, keeping you company?
I think he's awake right now. And here are the eggs that are just about to hatch and the juvenile. Just want you all to know it is more fun and biodiverse in the Philippines. So come join us.
Hey, is that Jennifer? Lynn.
Yes, yes, it is. It's David and Jennifer and Leandro.
Amazing, amazing presentation, Lynn.
Oh, thank you, Bo.
Nice photos, Lynn. Great. It's really cool.
Yeah, good job, Lynn.
I mean, you know, it's actually good that we decided to break it up because because I mean, you've got every place in the Philippines imaginable. So
well, you've got more than I've got.
We all took a small little territory for our presentation, so that was cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that the panelists are doing different destinations. Some of their favorites, but I'm pretty sure it's some of their latest and the greatest. Thank you very much for that, Lynn. Super, super inspiring to see those images.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Jerome Kim. He is Korean-born, but has been living in the Philippines for 22 years. He's an architect by profession. And I had the pleasure of diving with him more than once. I've seen how he works. And
he's my favorite Korean photographer.
yeah,
by far.
Who else?
Yeah. Kamsahamnida, Jerome Kim. Take it away.
The only other one I know is Infield, but you're much
handsomer.
more fun.
He's much handsomer. Okay, Kambe, let's go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be a panel speaker together with my colleague, my favorite people here today. I'm so glad I can representing and promoting the Philippines again. I've been staying in the Philippines for last 22 years, as Paul said, but I'm in Korea right now because of the pandemic lockdown of the Philippines. Okay, I started scuba diving in the Philippines, scuba diving in Anilao in 1991. Compared to Gutsy and Lynn, it's just like a piece of cake. But you know, I logged more than 5,000 scuba diving in my whole life, but almost 90% of the 5,000 is logged in the Philippines only. Okay. My most favorite diving destination in the Philippines are the Anilao and Tubata and Lomblon, but I'll
Sorry, where?
Tubata, Anilao, and Lomblon.
Okay.
Okay, but I don't know. I have still time to be representing Lomblon, but you know, I'll try to introduce like my second favorite Philippine diving destination today. Okay, I'll give my most favorite destination like Anilao and Tubata to Gutsy. Okay, I'll start. Okay, this is the diving Philippine dive map. Can you see my presentation part?
Not yet.
Not yet?
You have to share the screen.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
That little green dot down there.
Okay, share.
There you go.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, these are my 5 favorite diving destination for underwater photographer. Okay, this is dive map of the Philippines, and today I'll introduce Puerto Galera, then Cebu, and Leyte and Bohol. If I still have time, I'll try to introduce Lomblon to you guys. Okay, first Puerto Galera. I'm staying in Manila for 22 years. Since Anilao is just 1.5 hours away from my home with driving or bus, but Puerto Galera is also good dive destination for scuba diver and photographers, okay? You can see healthy leaves, colorful coral reefs, and very nice diving point like such as Verde Island and Canyon. Okay, how to get to Puerto Galera? You can just like 1.5 hours to Batangas port, then 1 hour ride ferry or banca. I don't know nowadays. There's no wooden banca running to Puerto Galera. I heard. Okay, only ferry. It take only 30 to 40 minutes, right? Okay, the Puerto Galera's best diving point is the hill. The hill is very popular with the macros. Second is the canyon. Canyon is called like in 10 best diving point in the world. Okay, scored before. Then next one is Verde Island. Okay, rest of Puerto Galera is underwater seascape. Especially in Verde Island, you can see a lot of antias and sponges. Those are very beautiful. And this practice, I met male or female, I don't know. I met her for 3 years, consecutive years. Whenever I go Verde Island, I look for this practice, and she was always there.
Jerome, after the talk, I'll tell you how to know which is male or which is female.
Okay.
Yes, you know how to do that.
Oh, can you tell me now?
No, I'll tell you after.
Okay.
There might be some kids watching.
Okay. So huge sea pens are around in Verde Island. Okay. Next one is Canyon. Canyon is my most favorite diving point in the Philippines. But the current is so strong. You need to be careful of the current. But I really love the corals and the antias, and then also the batfish, huge scallop batfish are staying there in Canyon Point. Okay. Next one is there are 2 to 3 shipwreck in Puerto Galera, and the biggest one is Almazane and Sabang Wreck. This is Sabang Wreck. I love the wreck, but these are pretty deep, so you need to be careful of your deco dive. Okay, the hill point you can see a lot of nudibranch, and also a lot of macros together with. I saw this tiger shrimp. This is the best diving point for tiger shrimp shooting. Okay, the hill point. I saw a lot. I think the most I saw it was around 5 to 6 tiger shrimp in one dive.
Oh wow!
Yeah, really a lot of tiger shrimp and a lot of octopus. It's very easily found this is in Puerto Galera in the hill point. Okay, hill point is is a bay, but it's around 17-18 meter deep. But you can the problem there is the visibility. It's not really good, but you can find a lot of octopus in one dive. Okay, the next one is Malapascua. Malapascua is in Cebu. I saw Bo will representing Cebu later. No, you don't.
No, I'm in Cebu right now.
Yeah, you're Cebu.
He's a moderator. He's not presenting. He's drinking and moderating you.
Okay. So,
I'm pressing the bleep button. You know the bleep button?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll drink first. I feel thirsty. Cebu is has several diving points like Malapascua, Morbar, and Oslo and Mactan. But I really love Malapascua because of the treasure shark. Okay, how to get to Malapascua? You can get to Cebu City by international flight, then move around, drive around 3 to 4 hours at the tip of northern Cebu, then take around 30 minutes Bangka get to Malapascua Island. Okay, Malapascua's best diving point is Cato Island and Lighthouse, and of course Monad Shore. The must-see in Malapascua Island is the treasure shark. Okay, this is the only place in the world you can find the treasure shark regularly. There is a cleaning station
Daily.
Treasure shark. But the problem is you need to wake up so early in the morning. Okay, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Then you need to leave around 5:30. Then arrive in Monad Shore before the sunrise. Okay. These treasure sharks are really graceful and beautiful. Okay. And sometimes I saw manta ray and mobula rays in Monad Shore as well. Okay. Then next one is the Gato Island. Gato Island is popular with the cave with the white tip shark, but for me also my favorite place for macro and the soft corals. In the cave you can see these white tips always, and these are very easy to find. This nudibranch and some macros. Okay. And in Lighthouse, you can see a lot of the mandarin fish in every day. Also, the harlequin shrimp. The next one is Marlborough in Cebu. How to get to Marlborough? You can go to Cebu City first, then around 3 to 4 hours ride by bus or motor. Okay. Marlborough's best diving point is the Kasai War as macros and Panaksama Reef with wait.
Sardines.
Sardines. Sorry. Okay, thank you. And then
Soju strong, huh?
then Pescador Island. Okay. You can see these sardines in Panaksama Island. These sardines were in Pescador, and they moved somewhere and disappeared like 1.5 years. Then
No, Jerome, they did not move. They got fished out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But how come suddenly they appear again in Panaksama?
They came back from another place. Ronda.
What?
Are you serious?
No.
Serious. I'm
No,
serious.
I don't believe you.
Kambe.
From where? South Africa?
Okay.
Hey,
They're like,
bro,
we
you
like
never
it
know.
here. There's no predators.
You don't know that, bro.
Except the people.
I saw
And the free divers.
Yeah.
there are
kidding,
a
you know
lot
that.
of free divers in Panaksama beach now because of the sardines. Okay. These free divers. Then Pescador Island, there's cabin called what's the name of this cabin? Crystal.
It's the cathedral.
Cathedral.
Cathedral cabin. Then also the beautiful soft corals in Pescador Island. There are resident big, huge practice there.
Gutsy, is that a male?
Is it male or female?
That is a male.
Male, okay. Let me know later, okay?
Okay.
They're really beautiful. The subcoral in Pescador Island is so beautiful.
Very good shot.
Yeah, very, very nice subcorals. Okay. Then in Kasai world, there is the resident mandarin fish. You can watch this mating every day easily. Okay.
Wow, you got the eggs and everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Eggs and sperms.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't mention.
Yeah, that's why I said and everything. 'Cause
And then
I really didn't want to say that word. I
brewing,
wasn't
this is
sure it
my
was
first-
okay for this thing.
This is my first brewing in Kasai world in night dive. And some there are a lot of pipefish. You can find this pipefish in Kasai world in night dive. Next one is Bohol Island. Okay, Bohol, you can go to Manila. Then no, there are international airports right now in Bohol. You can travel directly from internationally, and or you can go to Manila or Cebu first, then take another flight or take ferry coming from Cebu to Bohol. Okay. Best diving point in Bohol is Kabilao Island and Dorjo Point for me, and also of course Balikasag Island. Balikasag Island, you can see school of jacks and barracudas and a lot of turtles. Okay. I love Apo
That's a
Island.
cool turtle.
Oh, where there's no.
Very different.
No, this is the Dorjo Point. You see pan in Dorjo Point and very beautiful. Okay.
Oh, Balikasag's gorgeous.
Yeah, Balikasag and yeah. And Kabilao also, I love Kabilao. And these are from this
There
turtle
he is.
is resident turtle in Balikasag Island. So big. This is the biggest one ever I saw, like almost like 1.5 meter big.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't
That's what-
move anymore.
That's
Yeah,
what
just
Gutsy
like-
said.
It doesn't move at all.
I heard he asked divers for air, so he doesn't have to go up to the surface.
That makes sense. And there are some good mackerel, Bora. So I saw
Whoa, where'd you get that boxer?
What a heck.
in
Wow.
in Balikasag. I don't know, not Balikasag, in Panglao Island.
Jerome, I would have thought you would have snooped that guy.
Oh,
You didn't have it yet.
No, that's
You want to shoot it au natural.
looks like smooth, okay? Later.
Thanks.
Okay. I saw beautiful clownfish here in red. Okay, next one is Southern Leyte. Okay. How to get to Southern Leyte? That's the problem of the Southern Leyte, especially the
Oh,
Day,
wrong route.
okay? Okay,
From
you can-
Cebu. Take
From
a bangka.
Cebu.
You can get to the Sogo Bay from Cebu, or you can go to Tacloban Island, Tacloban City first by plane, then the long ride, the bus. Okay, it takes
Sorry, Jerome, that's not the long ride. That's a wrong ride.
That's long ride, but very tough because of the you need to climb up to the mountain, top of the mountain, then you need.
Is it only 2 hours from Tacloban? I think it's more like 6.
No, it's around three.
It depends on what you're smoking.
4 hours.
Yeah. If time stands still,
You can.
took me a whole
can-
day.
There was a plane, Jerome. It was called
I know.
Air
That's-
Juan.
Yeah, but the airport is so small, right? And
If
then-
it can fit our dive gear, it's okay. Let's go.
Okay, or you can go to Cebu. You can take ferry going to Sogo Bay nearby, right?
Yeah, there's a ferry
Oh.
from Cebu. It'll take you to either Maasin or Bato.
Martin.
But that plane ride flies from Mactan to Maasin. And it's called, well, I don't know if it's flying now, but it was Air Juan.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Every
Okay.
Juan can fly.
Southern Lake, the best diving point is Napantao. Napantao is really beautiful diving point. And Padre Burgos for night dive.
Oh, the pier.
Yeah, here. And Limasawa. Okay,
That's where
Limasawa.
Gutsy's from.
Oh, really? He's from
Limas-
Limasawa. together with the Spanish. Magellan, right? Magellan landed in Limasawa first.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
My
that's why.
ancestor.
No, Limasawa means 5 wives.
Okay. So Napantao world is so based all this marine sanctuary. Okay. It's so beautiful. The world is about 200 to 300, around 100 meter, around this size, right? Then it's full of corals and sponges. Okay. Very beautiful. One of the best live in the Philippines for me.
I agree.
Yeah. Very beautiful world. Then this is the Padre Burgos Pier. Actually, this is only allowed in nighttime.
And
But
also only MWF.
what is MWF?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Oh yeah, right. But
You've been in Korea too long, Jerome. You better get back here. You forgot what MWF
but
is.
I was able to dive in daytime. Okay.
Is it any good in daytime?
Daytime, very beautiful too.
Yeah.
You know, I have
Jerome-
some wide angle shot. This
Jerome's
is
like,
daytime.
what is that in relation to BDSM? Is it like kind of similar?
Yeah, it was
I
BDSM.
did that last Wednesday.
Shut up. That's it. Okay, this is from Padre Burgos Pier. Then this is from Napantao Island, and this is this is from Napantao. Okay. Padre Burgos Pier.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Winged pipefish. First time I saw winged
Stop
pipefish.
the bus.
And swimming, okay, especially swimming. It was swimming. Actually, learning away from photographer. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, they do.
It was swimming.
There is called lembe, little lembe in Sogopay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
there's
to Sogod Bay Scuba.
they call little lembe, and they have a lot of macros. Okay? And also, I saw a lot of pygmy pipefish, and I don't know, seahorse, pygmy and big one, especially in Padre Burgos Pier, a lot of seahorses.
That's a very nice shot.
During nighttime. Okay. Sogo Bay is popular place for migration of the whale shark as well. Okay, you can go to this area around in winter time, like January to March, April, something like that. There's huge, a lot of whale shark passing here, but I don't know.
So to give everybody an idea, Lynn was talking about Donsol a while ago, right?
Yeah.
After what they're doing in Donsol, they pass by Sugod Bay.
Okay, then go to Oslo.
And then to Bataha.
They don't want to move around because of feeding. I heard. Okay, you can see. I saw 2 whale shark in Sogo Bay before. Okay, actually that's all. Do I still have time for?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, man.
Oh really?
Go for it.
Oh, it's too no. I took around I took too much time, more than 20 minutes. Okay.
That's okay.
Gutsy first. Then still have time. I'll go to Longbourn. Okay?
No. You're on a roll. Go for it, Jerome.
It's what, one more destination? Why not? Let's check it out.
Lomblon.
Lomblon, but it take around 1 hour for me to introduce Lomblon. Okay.
That's okay.
I have
Vanessa
fond
doesn't
memories
mind.
of Romblon with Jerome. One
Okay,
and only.
Guys, guys,
I,
just
I was never the same
something.
sharing a boat cabin with him.
Okay, Jerome, don't worry. We are the last talk today, so we can
Okay.
extend if needed. So take your time, enjoy. Everyone just enjoy.
Okay. Lomblon is my
Freestyle.
one of my most
Freestyle it.
favorite diving destination in the Philippines. Okay. Okay, go. Lomblon is at the middle of Philippines and then center of the Coral Triangle. Okay. Okay, there are three big islands in Lomblon, Tablas and Lomblon, and Mahjong. There's one more island. I forgot the name. Okay, Lomblon. I call Lomblon is the small Lomblon in Lomblon's province. Okay. Transportation. You can get to Manila first, then Batangas Pier. Go to Batangas Pier around 2 hours. Then 8 hours ferry. Okay. That's long trip, but the ferry is really huge and comfortable, so you don't need to worry about the troublesome. Okay, I love to sleep in on the boat, and I love it. And then when you wake up in 6 o'clock in the morning, you can go to the resort first, and go diving straight. No need flight time or something. Okay.
Oh, let me get the schedule on it.
Or you can
I
go
really want to go there, but I just
Mhm.
don't know that I want to do that ferry.
There's a liveaboard.
Oh, it
Lynn.
was fun on the ferry with Jerome.
Some I
Yeah,
had
great. Me,
we
Jerome,
have
and Tim
memory.
Ho.
Guys,
We have memory together, okay, Gutsy.
Yeah, and we got stranded there because of the typhoon as well
oh,
Yeah.
good.
at the
Did you
pier.
have enough rice wine?
We stayed around 36 hours on the
Sunmig
boat
Light, I
together.
think we survived on.
Sorry, Jerome, to cut you off, but Bo, if there are any relevant questions, you can feel free to jump in. So
Right now?
yeah, we just got the word from the ADEX team that maybe if you have any relevant questions that are coming out specifically for Romblon or for Jerome or anything, feel free to open the conversation.
All right.
Okay.
I'm looking
all
at
right.
it now.
Okay. Or you can get to go to
Don't answer any of those troll
Island.
questions.
can get to Tablas Island by 1 hour flight. Then around this is also troublesome really. So I don't take this way. So just
I recommend the ferry.
yeah,
Yeah.
the pair is really nice.
Yeah, you go late afternoon. You're on it. You wake up at 6 a.m. You're there.
Right. And Lomblon, I think I first time to Lomblon is around 4 to 5 years ago. Then after that, even this troublesome, I went to Lomblon more than 22 or 23 times. Went to
Wow.
Lomblon already. Okay. So
From
you know
that
how
time,
much I love Lomblon. Okay.
from that time we met Kathy and
Yes,
yeah,
right.
and
In your shop.
yeah,
Then we planned this
yeah,
Lomblon.
yeah, and then you've been 23 times. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to go one of these days, guys.
Yeah.
Super macro heaven, right? I mean, it's
Oh yes.
every time they tried to show me something, I was just like, I'm not shooting sand. Show me something. Show me a critter. And it was a butterfly, nudie, or all this stuff. So.
Okay, let's go. This is the city before, but they renovate and they really have nice rooms these days. Okay, these are Lomblon Island type map. This is pretty big, and the the 3P guys
Those
are
are a lot of dive sites, man.
there are a lot of dive sites. They're the only the guys from 3P. They discovered this diving point and then they named the diving point as well. Named already. Okay. Okay. There are some favorite diving point in Lomblon, and what you can see in Lomblon is the butterfly nudie branch. Okay, Sayas nigra. Okay. These are very juvenile Sias nigra. Okay. Very beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't shoot those things. Can't do it.
Why?
It's too small.
Yeah, these are these are little already little bit big. It's about like 5 to 7 mm.
What are you using? Aquaco here, type 4?
No, this one for aquacophore, but this picture is bit juvenile one. They only have six wing, but one wing is abnormally big. And then this one I took with aquacophore and a lot of crop. Okay,
And
Hey,
still,
Jerome.
and still have to crop. Yeah.
cropped.
Hey, Jerome.
Yeah.
Barracuda just sent on the chat.
Hmm?
Is there a place where we can download Jerome's presentation for Romblon?
Oh.
Yeah, send him money. Then you can download it.
That's good idea. Okay. You can screenshot, but not no download. Okay. And you can find a lot of Sayers species in Romblon. This is Sayers SP.
That's beautiful shot, man.
This is
It's
Sayers.
gorgeous.
Also SP, not Bobonica. This is Bobonica. And
That's the one I want.
of the
The Malibu, the ghost.
I want that so badly.
The ghost.
Ghost nudibranch.
Oh,
Okay.
I love that shot.
We the 3P guys and I whenever I went to Romblon, we are talking about this ghost Malibu Colmani. Okay, I showed them this picture of the Malibu Colmani, and we are really think, can we find this nudibranch? Is our dream nudi these days at that time. Then we found this nudibranch together in my trip. Okay, that was
For the first time.
last day of the trip and first time in the Philippines. Okay, we were so
That's the
excited.
most spectacular shot of it.
Yeah, this is the picture I took in the first day of the day we found the nudibranch. Okay.
Not the time we went. This is the time before.
The before.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you guys were sober.
Mm. Yeah,
We're well behaved actually, except on the boat. But on the resort, we didn't drink that much.
There, yeah,
I remember correctly.
That is that they show you, they can show you a lot really small creatures.
Super small stuff.
They're like 1 to 2 millimeters size. Okay, they can show a lot of nudibranch. This nudie also very small one. The ground background. I mean they are sitting nudie is the Berber coral. Okay? You know how big is Berber coral, and you can imagine how small is the nudibranch. Okay?
Like a grain of rice.
Yeah, less than.
Oh.
Toto and.
You know what? It's a good thing I don't have any nudibranchs in my presentation because you took care of all of them.
Okay.
That's awesome.
The reason why we went to Long
Pontohi? Did you
because
get
of the Pontohi. Okay, because of Pontohi. I really
you got 2 of them. Of course you did.
Actually, I have 5 of them in one frame. Okay?
What?
And you were able to Photoshop all the toothpicks?
How did you move them? How far did you have to move?
And you can find a lot of pygmy seahorse in Romblon, especially in Pontohi and Seven Sea, and also Denis, also Bagibantis. Okay, a lot of different kind of nudibranch you can find in also the shrimp. They are really shrimp specialists.
Is that the tempura shrimp?
No, this is not the tempura shrimp. These are
right, there's a sashimi shrimp.
They call
it looks like the tempura one.
Whole shrimp. they have elusive hole on the back of the shrimp. Okay, they call it whole
Oh,
shrimp.
the hingeback. No.
No, not the hingeback.
How
I
big?
don't know
Grain
exactly
of rice?
the scientific name, but they call it whole shrimp, and this is very rare. They said, I don't know actually. And dragon, this one is not really identified yet, according to Kati. So this is also very special shrimp, as well as this one.
Jesus Christ. How diverse is the Philippines,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah, and you're just talking about one place, Romblon, and this is
Yes,
everything they have there.
you can find everything, and then there's not enough time for shooting. Whenever you're shooting, they will show you something new. Okay, glittering pipefish. This is very first time I saw glittering.
I've never seen that.
You never seen that?
No.
No, first time, and then I never seen that again.
What is it?
Glittering pipefish. Glittering.
Ooh.
You got it at Schleich. You know that those
This
German
is the scientific
figurines.
name. Okay? Helicampus vitidus. And also the pocket.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, they can easily find this
Pug pipefish.
pocket pipefish. And this is kind of bobbit worm, small kind of bobbit worm, but
Really?
But with
they
stuff
have
growing
wings.
on it.
They
Oh,
have
wow.
wings on their body. Okay.
Wait, what was that?
What was that snaky thing?
This one is the worm. There's
The worm?
this is not identified worm yet. They don't have name yet. And
Well, let's name it now. Kim
maybe.
Worm? Worm Kim? Go Worm? Jaworm!
That's enough for me. Thank you everyone.
Oh my God, Jerome!
Yeah,
Amazing
that is
stuff.
yours. Your turn, okay?
Fabulous, Jerome.
Thank you.
Amazing stuff,
Oh,
Jerome.
great one, man. Thank you.
How long do you need to go to Romblon?
Yeah, let's go together. It's
10 days or
time for
what?
me to drink makgeolli.
Super great presentation, Jerome.
Thank you so much.
I don't know how are you gonna follow that up.
How am I
Guts?
going to top that?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Wait. Before anything else, let me do the intro.
Okay.
This guy up next. I grew up in Is that your dog?
That's my. Oi!
Whose dog is?
I grew up in a dive shop, and I was already looking at dive magazines and seeing Gutsy's name. This guy has been putting out books for a long time. He put Anilao on the map with his book with Edu Kunhing, Anna's dad, and he had that one little book that was called Notes from the Sea. That was also a hit.
I own that book.
Recently he just came out with Blackwater Open Blue. That won a lot of awards too.
Which is actually not so recent because that was 2016. Can you believe it's been 5 years?
You're slacking, bro.
I had Aurora in 2018.
I don't have a copy of that. Anyways, so he just wants to be known as Gutsy, the photographer who owns Squires Bingham
Sports.
which is a
Mostly of underwater sport stuff.
well, actually, to be
All
to
sorts
be honest,
of sports.
it's a store in BGC, and it's all of Gutsy Sports.
If I don't
Guts,
like
are
it,
you
I don't
ready?
sell it. I'm ready. Yep.
Take
Thanks,
it
man.
away.
Okay, let's go through this thing again. Share screen, desktop, share. play. Okay, so these guys were gracious enough to give me two nice ones, Anilao and Tubataha. I didn't have to go digging too deep in my files to start this. And actually, I'm the opposite of Jerome. What I've done is I'm going to be presenting critters that are quite common in the reef and not hard to find. So that gives you an idea of what you can try and get, even if you don't have a guide or a special macro guide that's helping you out. So you can actually even take these kinds of pictures. What I'm talking about, and Anilao, you can actually take these kind of pictures even without a guide, just diving on your own, which is basically I do that a lot. Although lately I've been taking a guide because I kind of want to start shooting different stuff.
Getting old.
Yeah. Plus, you want to have 4 sets of eyes instead of just 2, or actually 2.5. Okay, so Anilao. Everybody knows Anilao. If you're from Manila, that's probably where you did your checkout dive. It's
Nice plug.
2 hours, and yeah, of course, the starting point is always Squires Bingham Sports, right? And then, well, I always stay at Bamboo Villa Resort, but there's many places to stay in Anilao. Just so happen to be good friends with the owner, and so I'm just gonna basically Anilao. You can shoot.
Yeah. What
You
are we
can
looking
shoot
at? What are we
macro, super macro, snoot, black water, and wide. So I'll just go through the different images that you might be able to get while you're there. It's a sea urchin. It just so happens to be the anal bulb of a sea urchin, which is looks like another part of something else. So pretty interesting. But that's just straight up.
Let's move on.
That's just straight up macro with a 105. This is another common thing in Anilao. The purple fire goby.
Yeah, at
It's
42
common
meters.
If you go to 50 meters, it's common.
See?
But if you so the purple fire goby, again, just shot straight up just with a 105.
How narked were you?
Yeah, it gets you down there. You can't stay too long. I love capturing behavior. So a soapfish, doing what it does. It's cleaning up after a bunch of messy catfish. I love that pun. Don't you guys? Soapfish cleaning up the mess of a bunch of catfish.
Good one, Gutsy.
What's that?
That's straight up with a 105. And then actually this is also 105, but I use
with a twist.
Aquacod Type 2. The weird thing about that Aquacod Type 2 diopter, right? When you put it and when you shoot it from not at its optimal distance, it starts to get wonky.
Very interesting one.
Yeah, you get to start to see some wonky stuff, and it's kind of like its own weird filter. It
looks kind of cool.
Yeah, the Aquacod Type 2 with a 105 or even with a 60. With a 60, you crop a little bit. Or
did the Aquacod bend the eyes of that clownfish as well?
I think because of the kind of optical
abbreviation. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Abrasion.
Anyway, triple fins are very common in Anilao, and if you get them on a nice, substrate, makes an interesting photo. These guys are all over the place.
Ooh,
the vampire red trigger or red tooth trigger. They're really hard to shoot if you want to get a nice portrait of them. Super skittish, right? But if you, it's happened only once where it's actually stayed for like maybe 5 seconds and just kind of looked at me, and I was able to get a 105 on him.
Salute on that.
But yeah, I love it. They're so cute. Again, that guy's all over the place, so you can, if you want to just work. That's the thing with Anilao. It's like, it's not really the number of dives you do there. It's like, it's really just like each dive can last up to 90 minutes, and you just take your time and be slow. And And when you see an animal that you like, or if you have like this vampire trigger or the red tooth trigger, it's like I wanted to get those teeth. One day I said I wanted to get, and every time I see one, I try and work it and see what kind of a personality it has, if it's going to allow you to get in close.
Hella good job on the focus.
Here's thanks. This is just a common salt shrimp on a tube anemone, right? But just 105. I don't think I used a diopter for this. Lots of Anthias in Anilao, and I shot this just at the bamboo Villa House Reef.
You like that box, eh?
Yeah, and there was a whole bunch of them actually in courtship, and it's a really ugly dive site. I mean, as far as like there's lots of like sediment and it's not much coral. It's even ugly in terms of muck standards, if you ask me. But there's quite a few interesting stuff there. And I actually took this during the full moon, so there were quite a bunch of Anthias there. Again, in courtship, different colors, white, yellow, and they were also congregating because it was the full moon, right? So they're all quite active. And again, this is just straight up with a 105, keeping your distance. Super macro you can also do in Anilao, right? I mean, you're gonna probably, most people are probably gonna need a guide if you want to shoot super macro, start shooting the smaller stuff. That's why I don't really have a lot of super macro. So I just use super macro on something that's common, so just something like this triple fin, just get right up on it. Sometimes they'll let you get close. This is with a 60. And it's again, these are common. I think one's
two different species, though.
Yeah, two different species. The white eye moray, and the other one is, I'm not sure what kind that guy is. Forget, but he's pretty common around, right? So, but you get them interacting, and again, photography in Anilao is all about spending time and staying there and just seeing what they do, because for me, since I don't like to use like color gels and all these really super fancy lighting techniques, I think so. Then to make photographs interesting, then you've got to get some sort of behavior, or some kind of interesting portraiture that will make the photograph interesting. Since I'm not much of a snoot guy, but I just started. So I'm warning you, Jerome.
Aren't you?
I'm coming for you.
I'm so scared.
Okay, this is still one of my favorites from Anilao. It's a goby.
I was there when you got that shot.
A goby being eaten by a lizardfish, right?
Wow.
And that goby gave it such a fight that you can see on the right side of the photo, you can see the gill plate that's extended
trying to hang on.
Yeah, he's trying to hang on for dear life, man. I think that thing lasted a while, and he was just screaming. Wow. But he wasn't screaming; he was just trying to breathe.
I bet when you were taking the shot, you were like, "Get him, get him!"
I was like, "Don't swallow him yet. Don't swallow."
I remember the shot. This is a competition. We were there for.
I was a judge at the Anilao.
Yes, you were a judge.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've since entered this in a competition. It didn't even get an honorable mention or anything.
Of course not.
It's fabulous.
And then you can do macro, super macro, and then you can also do, of course, snoot or flash gun photography. I recently just got the backscatter snoot. It's kind of like a point and shoot for snoot people that are, so it's really easy to use.
And you can buy that where, Gutsy? Just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, there's only one. You know where to get it. And so this is a pygmy. It's a pygmy cuttlefish underneath a sea pan. Taken at, of course, the dive sites in Anilao change from season to season depending on what's happened. So, like, because of all the typhoons in Anilao, places like Secret Bay and Coconut which were very
I
productive
heard.
with macro, are now not delivering too much excitement. So the hotspot right now is in front of El Pinoy, and for
A lot of nudibranch.
critters and
Yeah, a lot of nudibranch there.
yeah. So it keeps changing.
But give it time.
Yeah, give it
Fish
time.
resilient.
This frogfish I used that snook with as well in there's a secret bay before all the typhoons happened.
Hey, Gutsy, Ralph wants to ask if you bring a lot of colored filtered lenses.
No, the only colored filter I bring is on my Einons. I have the warm filter dome filters that you put on the strobe itself, so it makes the light a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
And it's actually it's designed for, especially if you're shooting like in green water or not, if it's not perfectly blue, then when you're in Photoshop, you can get the cold colors on the background, and then on your subject, since it's got a warm filter on it, you're not going to make it too cold either to match the background. You can
Wide
still
angle.
make it
Super
rich.
wide angle.
Yeah, it's good
So
for
why is
wide
this-
angle.
Why
I
is
use
this
it sometimes
grouper
for
so?
macro.
Why is this grouper so angry?
Well, it's not a grouper; it's a dotty back.
Oh, it's a dotty back.
Yeah, and it's angry because I probably was staying with it for like 30 minutes, and it was trying to get on with its life, and I was bugging it. And this is a blotched moray, which I've never seen before in Anilao. It's got those nice little mouse ears right above the nostrils, and I was able to use the
Really
snoot
nice.
on that guy as well. So that was
It's
cool.
a sweet shot.
Again, it's just in Kirby's Rock, and it's not like you don't have to be like a expert reef hunter to find it. I mean, the guy is big, so it's something I shot just over Christmas, and it's a pair of yellow gobies, but it's on a I guess that's a clam, not a clam, a mussel. But what's that kind of shell, or what kind of bivalve that's got a
That
pointed?
Flat one.
Yeah, the flat one with that's pointed at the end.
It's a paper.
Paper clam.
Kind of clam, yeah.
Yeah. And if you look inside in the middle, I still can't figure out what's going on. Is it laying the eggs? There's like blood dripping down from the fish, the fish onto the mantle of the clam.
Something's going on there for sure.
Something's going on there, right? And his belly was really red. Is it like could it be like some kind of a miscarriage or something? I don't know, man. But it was
AP red.
Yeah, it was a funky scene. And then, of course, I think I would probably, the birthplace of Blackwater in Philippines is probably Anilao. Probably the first time I went out there in 2012, and tried to convince.
And I think you are the first one in the Philippines.
Yeah, to try and convince the banquero to
Take me out.
Well, first of all, it was just it was done under the guise of a night dive. So I said, okay, I want to do a night dive. Okay. And then we went, and then I said, well, can you just go out? Just go out out in the middle of the ocean and
To Verde Island.
He was like, huh? And yeah, just keep going. And then he'd stop every like 10 meters and go, okay.
Past Sombrero Island, right?
Yeah, no, it was like, no, just keep going. And then he
and then he's like, we don't have any fuel, sir.
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna charge extra, blah blah blah. But you know what? The first time I did a Blackwater dive in Anilao was pretty uneventful, except for this lanternfish. But aside from that, I didn't see much, So, and it's amazing how
you didn't see that oarfish behind you.
Yeah, probably not, right? And I saw a lot of plastic bags. At that time, I was like, you know what? I was just new to Blackwater as well in 2012, right? I had only done it once in Hawaii, and then I did it here in Anilao, and I said, you know what? I think Anilao is just not deep enough. It's gonna suck here, so let's go. And I had a Tubataha trip the next month after this, and I was like, Tubataha has got to be the place for Blackwater because it ain't happening in Anilao. And 8 years later, Anilao is like one of the hot spots of Blackwater diving. So,
Well,
Anilao's
come on, Guts. I mean, like when we did it in what 2014, wasn't happening
2014.
Wall. Look at it now.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been to Malbal since
2016. Yeah.
I remember you did it in Malapascua, the
You showed
Blackwater.
David and Jen and me how to do it.
Yeah. So it's been a while, but I guess Kasai is doing it now, and I don't know who else is. But
Look at the shot. How do you get this flounder to do that?
Yeah, just a flounder. But it's actually. Pardon?
You brought everyone on the Visayas and you did Blackwater on the Siren on 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2017 you had a charter.
But we didn't do Blackwater in Malboal because that's the day we travel to Malapascua after Pescador and the sardines.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Yeah,
actually this photo, why it's in such a nice position is because he's feeding on the little mites that are getting attracted by my focus light. So he's actually just trying to stay in place and trying to feed as the lights lighting up and all these little, mosquito type things are buzzing around. Also it's become quite common at the right time of the year is the paper nautilus, which the only one I ever saw
hey Guts, let me ask really quick. Barracuda wants to know what was the depth of that flounder shot.
That was at like 8 meters. I mean, not too deep. If I remember correctly, it was in the shallower part. And the shallower part is normally where all those little bug things hang out. So yeah, about 8 meters. The paper nautilus, I saw once.
Thick. His mantle is still around him.
Yeah, the paper nautilus, me and Kino found in the Tanyon Strait.
There.
Yeah, in the Tanyon Strait in 2014 or 13. I can't remember exactly. And for 15, I'm not sure. And I think at that time that the photograph I had was like one of the only ones of like an alive paper nautilus. And then in Anilao, they just start popping up like they become a nuisance already. That's how bad it is. There's so many of them. They're just everywhere.
What a pest! What a pest.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
That's it year round.
No, it's normally in the colder months. So it's like starting this. When I did Blackwater in December, the water wasn't quite cold enough. Plus, there was like a super full moon. It wasn't very productive for the whole December 27th to January 3.
Whoa. Hold the door. What is this?
So this is
on a sarp, right?
It's on a pyrosome.
Yeah.
One of those giant pyrosomes. This pyrosome is about 8 feet long, 8 to 10 feet long.
Wow.
And
that's
it's made
what
up
you call
of
it now?
Pyrosome. Looks like a giant underwater device, right? It's tubular. Tubular, right? But there's little critters on it, right? So it's actually a Blackwater shot, but there's no Blackwater background on it. It's kind of cool. And then of course Blackwater with behavior is always interesting. This larval anemone just munching on like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different isopods, right? Of course, I'm helping his situation by lighting up this.
Of course, you're attracting all of that stuff.
So you're kind of like creating this behavior, which is probably not that natural, But
Well, they gotta eat.
they got to eat, man. You got to help them feed, right? So that means turning on your focus light and letting them, giving them a little help.
Guys, if you guys just tuned in, Blackwater is when Gutsy jumps in the middle of the night and turns on his lights.
Yeah. Just open. It's open, basically open water diving at night. Blanket octopus. I mean, that's become, if you hit it on a good week, I mean,
Is that a juvenile?
This is not a foot adult. But if you hit the a peak week with blanket octopus could be like quite common. This was my second one in 2 days, and I was not that excited on the second one.
You suck,
Jerome, you were there you were there
week.
that week, right? And I didn't see the ribbon fish. You did.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous about that ribbon fish.
What
I love
about
that guy.
the squid?
The diamond squid I had, but it's a juvenile. It wasn't the one I really dreamed about. The one with the nice tentacles.
I remember I sent a picture of the ribbon fish and the diamond squid.
And then I asked you, which ID book did you take that picture from? You're like, no, you really took it. Jack and Jelly, I love Jack and Jellies. And Anilao's got a lot of these different kinds of combinations, right? But this is not actually a Jack. It's actually a drift fish.
That's what you call it nowadays.
Yeah. So that's, that's lots of, this is where Anilao is also where.
That's a proper.
Anilao is also where I got that, one of my favorite images, which a behavior I'd never seen, which is when the Jack was hiding actually inside the bell of a jellyfish.
Did he break that jelly?
No, man, he's actually propelling that jelly to wherever he wants to go. And also giving you the bell side of the jelly. See, he doesn't really know that jelly very, very well.
Oh, he
because
knows something is hunting him.
If the Jack was smart, he would
He
not
is
give.
smart.
No,
he
would not give me. He would not give me the bell. He would give me the stinging part if he was scared.
Right.
But also maybe he thinks he's less exposed when he gives the bell, because if he gives the stinging part, you can see his tail sticking out.
And you know that he knows something's around.
Oh no, man! This guy was spinning like a madman. He did not want to really show himself, and he was just trying to hide and hide and hide. And sometimes they actually, if you harass them too much, I don't like to use that word harassment, but when you photograph them too much, sometimes they split from the jellyfish and go, "I'm out of here."
Insane shot, though.
Yeah, I'm out of here. You're on your own. This is another Jack and Jelly shot that I shot just recently. But he's like completely inside it because he's so small.
What?
Yeah, and then the bell, it just kind of looks like an embryo.
Fetal position.
It looks like it looks like hands and shit. So kind of cool. But that's Anilao. And then of course, let's not forget for Anilao, there's wide angle, right?
Oh, there's a lot of close focus wide angle.
Yes, exactly what I was gonna say. It's one of the best places for close focus wide angle, right? If you've got a DX format camera, if you got a 10-17 Tokina, and you just whack that guy on and just, you get right up to the dome.
How do you put your strobes in for a close focus?
For a close focus wide angle, I use 3 strobes. I have two right on the side, pointed in, and then I have the one strobe in the middle with
to hit the center.
Yeah, with one of those squiggly arms. What do you call those? Lock line? One of those lock line type things, and then you just position it, because it's
the squeaky ones.
The squeaky one, yeah, because it's kind of hard sometimes to get really tight in, and then you're gonna have a lot of shadow. So this photograph has 3 strobes on it.
So many tunicates on that one, eh?
Yeah, tunicates and different kinds of tunicates. right? The ones that look like pine cones, and then you have the classic tunicates, the yellow and black, and then unfortunately you have, you know, a piece of coral that's showing signs of
Well,
bleaching.
For me,
That's what it is.
I rather find Dembrosa nudibranch on this
Yes. Yep.
Ooh,
small one.
I actually was going to show some of those photos, them feeding on it, but you know, I just didn't want to show a nudibranch anymore. But the nudibranch is I mean, Anilao is probably one of the, I mean, the scientists from the California Academy of Sciences call it the branching capital of the world, because they've just been able to find so many species of nudibranchs there. This is an interesting find in Anilao also, because the moray's jaw looks like he got into a fight, split his lip, his lower lip.
Ooh.
But it's healing, and you know, he'll be all right.
hope so.
Again, it's close focus with 3 strobes. Get all the, you know, try and eliminate as much shadows as possible. But see, even with 3 strobes, you can see there's one little shadow there, on the right side of the thing. There's another little shadow to the left side.
I'm guessing this was a 10.5,
This is 10 to 17.
1017 Tokina.
Tokina at 10.
Mm. Small dome.
What's
Yeah,
your
the
camera?
mini
What's your camera?
the Subal DP100 dome. You can focus like right on it, right? And
DP
maximize
100.
maximize that lens, right? Because it can focus really close. And this is another kind of cool reef scene that you can get in Beatrice. I mean, some of the best places for wide angle are Beatrice, Batok, Bahura, Larry's, Kirby's. Yes, those are like some of the really nice places to get really. And you know, ever since the lockdown, what I've noticed in Anilao is these vampire trigger have just come out in swarms. I mean, just like swarming everywhere. It's unfortunate they don't school, because if they school tight, like let's say like the way Trevellis do or
That'd
Jacks
be a
do.
nice photo.
Oh my God, because they've got that electric blue edge to them.
Yeah, on the
And
back.
they look almost 3D, and yeah, man, they're a really cool fish, and nobody really pays attention to them because everybody's just like, it's just a trigger.
Yeah, because they're also super skittish. When you come close to them, they
Yeah.
go in a rock.
Like the shoulder tail. And then this is something I shot in Anilao also, a wide angle behavior. This is the only time I didn't feel sorry. I mean, this is the only time I ever felt sorry for a triggerfish. There's a Titan trigger defending himself from a swarm of moon wrasse eating its eggs. And it was just the only time I was able to get close to a trigger without it attacking me or biting my dome. And I felt sorry for him. For her.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I
No,
felt sorry. Yeah.
Yo, Guts.
Be more of them.
Yeah.
Guts, we gotta start wrapping up.
Okay, Tubataha, one of my other favorite places.
Hit it.
Obviously, Tubataha, lots of coral, all
Vanessa?
kinds, beautiful.
That's Vanessa.
It makes a great.
Friend, no rush, Bo. If you need more time, don't worry. You're good. So,
Okay.
thank you.
It makes a great place to shoot wide angle reef scenes, right? It even makes it even better if your right angle reef scene has like a diver and a whale shark in the background, you know, which is, you know, stuff that's very likely to happen if you're at Tubataha. Also, another great place to shoot nice reef fish with nice coral, right? So, I mean, if Anilao, you'd probably shoot. You'd probably take a 60 or a 100 or a 105 or a 60 or a 50, whatever macro lens you have in your kit. If you're shooting DSLR, you know, if you're shooting point and shoots, then you'll take a diopter. But you know, that's pretty much going to be it. And then if you have, you know, a little, you know, if you have some extra time or you want to do something different, Anilao, you can also bring a wide angle lens. Tubataha, your main lens there is going to be a wide angle, and so it's one of the great places to shoot all sorts of colorful reef fish with nice coral and nice visibility. You got lots of harlequin sweet lips. Sometimes you get lucky with with critters, like this day octopus running around the reef. And I think this was Triggerfish City in Tubataha. And then, of course, all over the reef, you've got some of the bigger stuff as well, right? This marble ray, and when something's like flush up against the reef, so I guess you're gonna just try different things to make an interesting photo. The rear curtain sink would show movement. Kind of really shows how fast he's trying to get away from you. But of course, if you're in Tubataha, you're not supposed to be going after anything. So this guy this guy was just whizzing by me. And I was able to
he just happened to be there.
Yeah, he just whizzed by, and that was it. Got lucky. Lots of schooling fish in Tubataha, and the two main characters that school there are the big-eyed trevallies and the barracudas. Big-eyed trevallies, lots of opportunity to shoot them. You can shoot them in late afternoon, middle of the day, in a ball, in a line. I mean, you can figure out all
with a whale shark in the middle.
Yeah, with a whale shark. Jerome's got one with with a turtle there, right in the middle. School of Jack. I mean, there's so many things you can do with this guy as far as photography goes. Also, another nice one. These are not as easy to shoot, but the batfish in Tubataha, for some reason,
skittish.
Right? Because the school of the batfish in, let's say, somewhere like Sipadan, they pose for you. In Tubataha, they see you 50 meters away, and they're like,
I'm out of here.
They're out of there, man. They're like taking a turn and diving down deep. I mean, I don't know what it is.
They see you at where's that at? Black Rock, and they're like
Black Rock. Yeah, these two photographs were taken at Black
meters.
Rock. And of course, there's a nice the batfish are nice also, especially for photography wise, if you want to try and play around with and turn it into black and white, because it's such a nice contrast. And then you've got the rich blue, you can make it easily black, and so you can get play around with that. A lot of behavior on the reef as well.
I love this hunting behavior.
Yeah, the group of long-nosed emperors who are usually together with one or two bluefin trevally, maybe
and a Napoleon,
a young Napoleon, and they're all in it together, man. It's like a cartel. They're all
Gutsy. Cartel. Wait up. Check how these guys change color.
Yes, you can see the one on the top left. He's still on
blue
mode.
I'm like,
and then once the excitement heats up, man, these other guys, they just light up like the reef, and they start flashing. Pretty cool. So also something you don't get to see very often. I mean, I've never seen really these pompano anywhere else except in Tubataha. They're very good eating, but most of the ones that we eat here are farm raised because they're not caught in the wild like these guys are. And I haven't seen these guys in a while. I actually took this photo in 2005, I think, or 2008. They were hanging out by Shark Airport.
They're around, but they don't school anymore.
Yeah. I love those guys. They're not easy to shoot because they're really silvery, so you gotta really, and plus they're in shallow water with lots of light. You gotta really tweak down your strobes and just give it a light kiss, so that at least you can kind of recover it in Photoshop after, because it's pretty hard to get this thing banging right on the money. Barracudas are also plentiful. There's big schools out in the blue, and then in the reef, you'll get some of the smaller schools come in sometimes. There was one year. There was one year there was this huge great barracuda that was hanging
Where at?
he was under the boat.
I know where at.
We were tied up at
Co-op.
washing machine.
No.
Yeah, near at the last buoy before washing machine. Right
How?
around there.
He's
He was
practically
massive.
kissing the lens.
Yeah, he'd let you go because I've seen great barracudas there, right? Especially on the way to washing machine, when you're coming from Shark Airport. But the problem is they don't really hang out, you know. So I have a feeling this guy was probably maybe
Angry?
no, he's probably on the edge of death. He
How
was
do
just on
you
his last
lure the barracudas?
yeah, he was just on his last legs because he just let you get close right up to him, you know. He just looked beat
Jerome,
up.
Gutsy keeps bacon in his pocket.
He was under the boat. Everybody had a crack at him.
Oh,
Whoever
really?
was there.
He was hoping for scraps from the boat.
No, he wasn't. It was weird. I've never seen that. Turtles, lots of turtles in Tubataha, right? And you can see them all throughout the day. I like to go in the late afternoon in the shallows to get that
Oh, yeah.
Schnellsvindo.
Beautiful.
Try and get the Schnellsvindo and you know and
And
some
the little
nice-
light coming through.
yeah, lots
My
of photo ops in
favorite.
Tubataha. You know, it's not the easiest place to
Oh.
shoot. Like if you want to
I'm
shoot
guessing this is May though, because it's all flat.
May, exactamundo, or the end of May. Yeah, lots of turtles. The turtles like to pose. They like to hang out in the cleaning stations and just hang around. And then, of course, the sharks. No, the sharks are not the easiest things to shoot in Tubataha. They're very skittish.
Yeah.
This is one really early morning dive.
Oh, you see what's happening here?
In Black Rock, and the GTs and a pack of
there's
and
a hunting pack.
yeah, and a pack of white tips were hunting.
And the parrotfish are running for their lives.
Yeah, hunting the school of yellowtail parrotfish. That was pretty cool. And then right after that, a whale shark showed up because those parrotfish are spawning. Right,
Yes.
so they're just like and creating all this cloud and mist, and they're creating a lot of activity on the reef, and you know it
But the
attracts all sorts
parrotfish,
of.
they're different though. They don't spawn in one place. They spawn, they move, and then they spawn again.
Yeah, this was like it was like moving around everywhere. And then actually there was also a lone dogtooth in there, you know, trying to get in on the action. Like I was saying, the white tips are not easy to shoot in Tubataha, but you know know if you're on a 7-day liveaboard, you might have some opportunities to be able to get close, you know, with the fisheye. Also in the shallows, just makes beautiful light. You know, it's just Tubataha is just kind of magical. It's the yeah, I remember when the first time I went to Tubataha, I was blown away when I was a teenager. Back in the 30s, when there was still prohibition.
How many speakeasies did you own?
Yeah. Couldn't even drink on the boat. Mantas, lots of mantas, and well,
all reefies though.
I'm not going to
I
say
have
lots,
to say, Guts,
right?
all reefies.
All reefies, not very big.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, this was a flyby in Black Rock by the buoy that's on the turtle cleaning station. You know, where that buoy where the smaller boats tie up to.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
Navorka and whatnot.
Yeah.
Sandy area. It's a beautiful area.
All in the back area.
Yeah, in the back.
Right around the corner.
The back of Black Rock. Black Rock. Yeah, you get some flybys there, and then of course in
this is afternoon light. I'm guessing 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's the last day dive. And then of course in Black Rock proper, there's the cleaning station. You know, where the mantas come in and get cleaned.
Nice.
Pretty good chance there to see that. And then of course, you know, you got the bigger stuff like the whale sharks. Funny thing happened in 2014. They just showed up there all of a sudden. Before that, it was a rare treat to see a whale shark in Tubataha. I'd only seen one. From diving from 1983 to 2004 up to 2014, I'd
When
only
you're
seen.
when you're done, I have an explanation, or somebody explained it to me. Anyways.
Oh,
go ahead.
okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. And then 2014, they just showed up, and it was just like a bonanza. You had like this whale shark was the same one that I had shot earlier with the sea fan. It stayed with us for 1 hour. So when I finally got when I finished shooting it, every which way you can on, when it was just swimming around, I was like, what else can I do with this guy? So I went down to the sea fan, tried to get him in the background. He was just right on the edge, like acting like a white tip, just swimming along the edge of the reef. That was a really cool experience. And then sometimes you get two. Bo, I've seen your video with the two as well. And you know what they do? These guys are doing the same
They
thing in
do
your
that.
video.
They do
They
that.
pirouette around each other. It's like, hey, I see you. I see you.
Do you see me now?
Yeah. Hey, you man or female? Right? Let's get it on. Maybe.
Yeah.
And
man.
then in
Tiger?
in 2017, finally I had a close encounter with a tiger. Came right off the shallows, came right at me. Of course, all my settings were wrong.
Of course, I love the focus though, Guts.
It was
At least you should.
at least I was able to get it. Yeah, I was doing close focus fairy basslets in the reef at the f/16, like 1/30th or 1/60th of a second, and this what I thought at the time was a small whale shark was coming at me from the shallow, and I was only at 7 meters, and this guy was coming right from the shallow, and he just made a beeline straight for me, and that's the point where he just stopped. And
They do look like small whale sharks.
yeah, and he said, you know what? I'm not
I'm
that
not gonna-
interested in you. And he left, and he made like a sound wave, which other divers heard. And then if you're brave enough to put on a macro lens, right? Then there's some interesting stuff you can shoot too, right? A 60 is pretty versatile lens, so and you can still shoot big stuff with it. So you can shoot the sweet lips, the sailfin snapper after they've mated, and you can see the male having a feed.
Hang on, Guts. Ralph wants to know if is it dangerous to dive with tiger sharks? In Tubataha.
In Tubataha, I mean, I would say there's listen, man, the tiger shark's an apex predator. That guy is,
He's not fucking around.
He doesn't mess around, right? I mean, if he decides he's gonna want to taste you, it's very unlikely. It can happen, right? Especially, I mean, with that tiger shark, I held my ground. I think if I had turned around and started swimming away, I think he would have really gone for me, because that it's like a cat with a mouse. But I just stood there and I just whipped out my camera and just went boom, 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 fired away, and hoped my exposures were correct.
Right on the focus though.
Fed out there. They got a lot to feed on.
And then had a cigarette after. So that was pretty fucking nerve-wracking.
I missed the bleep button on that one. Hey, what's this?
This is a footballer grouper. He's a really nice kind of grouper. You see them once in a while, but they're hard to get close to. But I had this guy corralled inside a crevasse, and he had no choice but to look at me. And then you can get some behavior too. This white tip being cleaned. And as white tips are, they're lazy, so they can't even swim to get clean. They're like,
they have to lay there.
I'm gonna lie down here and open my mouth and have a wrasse enter. And it's also a good place to take, if you have a 60 or not such a big macro lens, you can take nice pictures of portraits, right? Still one of my favorites. You know,
Wow.
Doggies.
the doggy in tuna, the doggies in Tuason with a 60. Really get all the grit, all the details on it. It was cool.
You put it in
I have
macro
to
macro
say,
port or dome
That's a
port?
macro lens.
I put it on the macro port.
Macro port. You
Yeah.
can use inside the dome port as well. You can try.
Hey,
I
Gutsy.
What does it do? It makes
Another
it more
question came
curve.
up. How deep?
Yeah, less
dog
curves.
to
Yeah,
tuna?
Oh, less curve.
yeah, less curves.
Oh. And then, okay, question.
Yeah, how deep was this dog tooth shot?
That was at about. That was. I remember that shot. It was right after I had gone up from Del San, but not quite to the shallows yet. So probably at about 30 meters. Really clear day though.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here?
And then, so if you go on a Squire strip, we do offer Blackwater into Bataha, which is a really, really.
No. Technically, you're outside of Tuason.
Yes, we have to go off the. We go out of the zone. So we
Oh,
do,
and then that same guy Barracuda says that was quite shallow for a doggy. But then again, you know, in Bataha,
30 meters is shallow for a doggy.
No, we
Of course
see
not.
him.
What doggy is he talking about?
exactly. Anyway, guys,
So even so, Tuason,
Indeed.
you've got Blackwater opportunities as well, and stuff that you don't normally see in Anilao, right? Like the larval dolphin fish, mahi mahi, Amarsippus Carlsbergi.
Wow.
That's apparently this fish is quite rare, and then it had also the larval paper nautilus inside it. This guy was probably discovered by the owner of Carlsberg beer. Is what I'm guessing.
you made that up. You made that up.
He's a scientist. The
Hey,
owner
okay.
Carlsberg
I'm calling
Brewery.
it. I'm calling it. Gutsy, I'm calling it.
Okay,
Let's
and then
move
of
to
course
the Q&A.
the tripod
drinking
fish.
Carlsberg.
Okay,
Okay,
the dude abides. Thank you.
dude. Thank you. Gutsy. I don't know where we're
Really
going there
nice
anymore.
presentation,
But-
Gutsy.
Super cool.
Fabulous.
Everybody, not just Gutsy, everybody. Lynn, Jerome, that was amazing.
Thank you so much.
What a way to show off the Philippines, man. You
We
know,
just need your videos.
we just scratched this, plus we didn't have that
I
much
know,
time
I
to
know.
really talk, so we
I
just
know.
scratched the surface. That's
Right.
you guys
that's
you
the
guys that are
takeaway
watching
from here.
online, when we come together, the four of us, this can go on for hours, man. And
That's true.
and Van is there and she's helping us pour the drinks. No, everybody,
She's
it
probably
was
drinking more than us.
it was amazing. Super cool shots, everybody. Amazing photography. So much talent. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time for everything. So let's move on to the second part, which is the question and answer portion. So you guys, when you're ready, type in those questions and you might win a prize from Squires Bingham Sports.
Oh, really?
I'm going to talk to Gutsy about that later. He doesn't know about it yet, but yeah.
I don't know if I should be talking because I already got a message from the watch my language. So
Anyways, there were a few questions along the way. Like, Lynn, how long have you been diving in the Philippine Islands?
Since 1975. This would have been year number 45, or last year would have been, but of course COVID kept me out. And as soon as you let me back in the country, I'm coming.
Me too.
I've been diving for 53 years at this point, and 45 of them in the Philippines.
Okay, so
We should. I think we should have a petition to grant Lynn Filipino passport
citizenship.
citizenship,
Yes, yes.
automatic. Let's do it.
Thank you. I want it. Especially right now, we may not have any United States left after January 20th. Who knows?
You know, the United States is a fourth world country. You might as well come to a third world.
No, it's a fifth world country. Now have more troops in Washington, D.C.
I did not say anything.
It's crazy over there.
It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Super amazing photography, guys. Are there any tips you want to share? You know, there's some people online that are asking, like, how did you get started? How did you do this? But if you have any tips that you want to share, drop them off. Lynn, let's start with you.
Well, the dive guides in the Philippines are phenomenal. And you could go in with a list. And there have been times when I've given them a list. Not only did I give them the species of fish I wanted, but the color I wanted it in. And they deliver. You know, it might be out of season and they'll tell you that. But it's just phenomenal. And just spend time. Just get your buoyancy right. That's the main thing to do for photography. And hover in the water and watch a fish. Don't just go by and click a picture of your animal. Get to know it, watch its patterns and so forth. Spend a little time with it and you'll get that winning shot.
Slowly. Jerome?
Lynn said everything, so I don't need to add anymore. How about Gutsy?
Oh, we won't ask Gutsy
Yeah, no.
Hit it, Guts.
Dive slow, look hard, right? And really, I mean, as far as photography goes, it's all about, I mean, okay, like I forgot to add this on, like for Tubataha, right? For Tubataha, it's, you got to spend a maximum amount of time in the water to be able to see and allow yourself a chance to be able to have cool behaviors and whatever, right? So, you know, don't skip a dive. Be in the water as much as you can. Yeah. Don't skip a dive. Every time I told somebody, you know, somebody always asks me, you know, what dive, should I skip this dive? Because I don't, you know, and I'm like, well, I don't know what we're going to see. But
about that.
So you do
But
night dive?
I
You do
said-
night dive in Tubata?
Say what? Say what, Jerome?
Gutsy, you do night dive in Tubata?
Yeah, Blackwater.
Blackwater. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Gutsy doesn't do the reef anymore.
No, sometimes we do the reef. If it's really too rough and it's, you know, but what I was saying is, like, they always ask me if I want to skip a dive, which dive to skip, and I'm like, okay, yes, if you want to skip a dive, skip the third dive. That's usually the least action, and yet that's the dive I saw the tiger shark that came up to me. That's the dive that I saw. The first whale shark ever was on the third dive, which is supposedly, you know. So you just got to spend time in the water, and get, like Lynn said, get to know your creatures, and if you see something that you really like, or that you're interested in, you spend time with it. It's not about coming back from a dive and saying, well, I got 36 different kind of animals. It's like, you know, I got one or two, but I really got it right, or I really got it good, or I really got to know it, and I really got to take a photo that, you know, expresses its essence.
Well, the other thing, there are flashlight fish at night at Tubataha too. And if you can get in just at dusk, sometimes you see them coming up the reef and into the caves.
Yeah, so if that's your thing, right? Then you plan, you know, and try and shoot that. But you know, you kind of have like a little mini purpose when you're. Although Tubata, a lot of times it just gives you what you know. You take what it gives you. That's why you spend time, as much time as you can. That's it.
Well, the other thing is educate yourself. You know, pick up a couple fish books and invertebrate books and so forth, and learn some of the behaviors and look at people's photography and so forth. And then you'll know what you're shooting and what to go after too.
Awesome comment, Lynn. Educate yourself. Yes, of course, right? We got a...
How come nobody told me my face was getting burnt out? Because my light was too strong.
I couldn't see past your glasses. Yo, we have one last question though, and it's from a free diver. You ready?
For who? For us.
For you guys, who else?
Okay.
Any tips for free diving photography?
Oh.
Oh.
Take up scuba.
Hold your breath.
I'm
actually.
Yeah, actually, I will answer the questions.
Go for it.
Free divers. Okay, you mean free diver photographer or free diver model?
No, free diver photographer. Montone.
Free diver model. The photographers.
Oh,
Just hold your breath long. That's all.
Yeah.
well, okay.
I mean, but if well, for one thing, don't think about shooting macro. Just stick to wide angle.
Let me cut you off right there. I've seen so many amazing photographs coming from guys that are free diving and shooting macro. Sure, they're at 2 meters. Sure, they're 1 meter, but they see a lot of good stuff too. So, if I could give a tip to guys that are free diving and taking photographs for macro or wide angle, doesn't matter. Just keep doing it. You know, there's a lot of great stuff happening out there. Just get in the water.
Yeah, I mean, taking photos with free diving and when scuba are, it's the same. It's the same photographic technique. It's just that when you're free diving, you better do it on one breath, or go back up, right, and then try again. But I do a lot of my, there's a lot of trips I do which are just holding your breath. The orcas in Norway, some of the sardine run in South Africa, the whales in Tonga, the sailfish in Mexico,
seals in California.
That's all. Just free diving. You just use the same technique. It's actually more about the free diving than the photography, because I'm not really a free diver.
All right, so that was the last question we have time for right now, and I do hope that everybody enjoyed all this great imagery that came out of this. Lynn, amazing stuff. Jerome, Lomblon was crazy. Guts, I don't even want to go there. Come on. But before we close, you guys, if you guys have been on any of my talks, you know that I always have one last thing. And today, my one last thing is about conservation.
We need conservation, man.
We do.
Yeah.
Don't you guys agree?
We need to conserve, or else we ain't gonna have anything to shoot. That's for starters.
Exactly. Now, here's the funny part: is it's because when I started diving, in the 80s, that term did not exist. Awareness was not there. Come on, So, I'd like to play a video that we shot a couple of months back, and tell me if you guys think that it's important. El France, if you could so please play that video.
Part of the realization was when divers were kind of surveying Alegria's status as a marine ecosystem, and they started to report on huge amounts of nets that they found stuck in the coral reef or just left behind, and we were kind of surprised. Why do people leave nets behind? What is the reason for it? Nets are expensive. They're not also very cheap to get. Hello, I am Pasco Tomas Fernandez. I am the Menro of the municipality of Alegria. When we had a lot of sea turtles that got caught in these nets, that started our minds thinking that we must do something to get these nets off the ecosystem.
Kanang pamahala nga style nga panagat illegal na, dako na siyang illegal. Ako si Edwin Sato, anak taga Alegria, anak ko magtrabaho sa Mindro under sa LGU. Ilan ang birahon? Pag bira na og masabod baron sa mga bato or corals, bunluton na nila. Ug di gyud madag bunlot, munang putlon. Munang mabilin di as dagat, nga mabilin di as dagat. Masabod tong mga isda hasta tong pawikan, di nakagawas, di nakabuhi, amo na to mamatay sila.
We put this one and one together, and we realized that we have to do something about it. And the term ghost nets became kind of a way to dramatize that problem. That these nets are there, but we don't know they are there.
My name is Berna Magallaon, the three-termer mayor in the municipality of Alegria. We are very much aware that if we do the coastal preservation, it could contribute much to our tourism industry in Alegria. We want to make Alegria to be known as an eco-friendly town.
Guys, thank you very much. No, thank you very much for being here.
That is amazing. And everyone,
Lynn.
what a way to end this talk. Thank you, everyone. And
Bo,
I'm sure all our
thank you.
guests feel honored. Yeah.
Thank you for and Vanny, thank you for moderating and hosting this group of degenerates, excluding myself,
oh my gosh.
obviously.
Okay, you're welcome. And I'm sure that the audience felt so honored to be graced by such icons in the dive industry. Definitely a great way to end the entire week and the entire series of the Department of Tourism Dive Philippines. So everyone, I hope all these topics and the days, all these locations are making you excited. And I hope this is getting you geared up to book and, support tourism again. I know we've had a rough year, but it's time we come back, everyone, of course, safely. And we've all spoke about how we can come back safely. Stay tuned. Our little by little places are opening in the Philippines. And as much as you miss diving, these different locations miss you too. So we hope to see everyone underwater. And on behalf of Department of Tourism and ADEX, thank you, everyone. Thank you, speakers. Bo, Gutsy,
I can't wait to go
Lynn.
diving with you guys again.
Yeah,
I miss you guys.
Soon, okay.
That's not the gin talking, huh? That's coming from me.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
I miss Jerome hanging around the shop.
You too, bro.
Huh?
To see you guys in person.
Squires misses you, man. Come back already.
Okay, wait.
We'll sneak you in a North Korean submarine.
Squires.
In a North Korean submarine. We'll sneak you in through the DMZ.
Gutsy, I'm putting my next tab on Squires with Jerome's name on it.
All right, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay.